Alright, so in this video, we are going to create a nice simple curtain with using basic patterns and sewing segment tool. So let's create a rectangle first. So here we have a nice rectangle, which will be our curtain. And I'm going to create another rectangle in Marvelous Designer, which will act as the top support for the curtain because we don't have any 3D standard primitives like we do have in our other CAD programs like box or cylinder. We do have the avatars, but those are not gonna do any support with the with this curtain. So the trick is, let's create another little strip of rectangle, and in order to just have that nice wrinkles of those curtains, you can shorten the length of this little rectangle. Let's actually shorten it more, like this. All right, so now if I just press spacebar on my keyboard, you will see that the gravity will act on both of these both of these patterns, and they will fall on the ground. So you can see. So in order to prevent a falling of this pattern, we are going to freeze it in the 3D window. So just select that pattern and hit Control K on the keyboard. Or if you are not familiar or you cannot memorize the short keys, you can just right click. So you have that right click menu on your screen, and here we have the freeze option. We will go all the options in our later videos. So let's just stick with the freeze for now, and its short key is Control K. So let's just click on the freeze, and you can see now we have this little rectangle turns into blue, which means that now it is freeze and no simulation or no gravity will act on this rectangle. All right, so now if I press my space bar on the keyboard, you can see now the simulation is only affecting this fabric. All right, so now the final step is we have to stitch these, or we have to connect these two rectangles with each other. And from our earlier video, we know a tool how to connect them. So we will use the segment sewing tool, and let's just activate that. So click on the menu and activate the segment sewing tool. Now just click on the first segment, and the choice is yours. You can just choose left or the right side. That little stitching tick mark will appear on that side, but you have to make sure that whatever side you will pick, the second segment will also go in that direction. So just click on the first segment, and when I just place my mouse on this second segment, you can see now those dotted stitch lines are appearing on in between these two segments. And if I go on the other way, you can see the stitching lines just crossing each other, which means that your simulation will flip that pattern and it will just make a very bad simulation. So you can just avoid this. But in case if you have just click on this side, you can always reverse the stitching. So just select the edit sewing and right click on it and select reverse sewing, or just click Control B on the keyboard. This will just sort out this stitching. And now if I press my space bar, you can see we are getting some nice curtain and the wrinkles on the fabric like curtain. Also, you can just, during the simulation, you can just click and grab any part of the curtain to add a bit of depth. Or you can just shorten the length of the pattern once again. So I'm going to shorten this side as well as I'm going to increase the length for our pattern. So it will just touches the ground. All right. Let me just rearrange the pattern. And for better simulation, I'm just moving it like here. And I did a bit of rotation as well. And now if I just press my space bar, you can see now the simulation will be like this. And you have the nice fall of your curtain on the ground as well. So you can just click and drag it to add a bit of detail. All right. And now you can see that we have this white color on our curtain. And if you want to change the color of that fabric or the curtain or the pattern, what you have to do is you have to go under the fabric section here, or just select the pattern. You can see here we have the fabric section right here. That says we have fabric one layer. So what we have to do is we have to add another fabric. So let me just click on this add icon. So think of this section as like layers in your other CAD programs. So you just add some layers and you can change the color, change the properties, whatever you want. So for now, if I just click on the fabric one, this is these are the properties for the fabric one. And if I click on the fabric two, these are properties of this fabric two. You can see the name right here in the information section. And if I go a bit down here, you can see we have a color option, and let's just click on this little square. This will pop up a color palette, and from here we can select any color you like and click on OK. You can see now the fabric 2 color is changed. And if I click on my pattern again, now the property editor will show me the properties of this pattern. So there are two different things. The fabric layer has its own properties related to the fabric, and the pattern has its own properties like the simulation properties and the lens. And we can add our patterns in our fabric layers, and this is how you're gonna do. So just click on the pattern, and here we have this fabric section. Just scroll down a bit, and in the fabric section you can see we have written fabric 1, and we have a drop down menu here. If I just click on this, you can now see we have two options here, so fabric 1 and fabric 2. And if I just click on the fabric 2, this will add this pattern in fabric 2 layer. So we have nice teal kind of color on our curtain.